So now we are here.
Yes, now we are here.
Vasco Da Gama pillar.
This is the pillar built by the Portuguese, the second pillar. And I think I've told you the reason of being built. The first one is a landmark, the second one is direction, and the third one is a memory. So this pillar has lasted for over 500 years actually, because it was built on 16th century, we are on 21st century. And it is very much intact. It was built actually, they used, the material they used was coral rocks, the one you're stepping on, and the limestone. Actually, they brought that one with them from Portugal, because we didn't have limestone by then in Africa. So, and that's why it has remained very, very strong actually since then.
Do you think it's okay?
So this is the pillar, the one I told you will see it, built by the Portuguese, the second pillar. And the first one, as I told you, it was destroyed on 15th century. And the Portuguese actually they looked for another location where they could build a second pillar. So they built this one on 16th century. And the reason, as I told you, it was landmark, it was built for direction and also memory. And it has actually been built by the coral, the ones you are stepping on now, and the limestone. And they brought the limestone from Portugal, because we didn't have limestone by then in Africa. And it has remained very strong since then. It has lasted for over 500 years. We built on 16th century and we are on 21st century. Yes, and many people come and visit it just to see the pillar and knowing the reason of why it was actually built.
You remember the reason?
Yeah.
He said why the pillar was built.
Yeah.
3 reasons, right?
Yes.
Memory, direction, and sign of conquering.
Sun. It's a landmark. Yeah?
Landmark, yeah?
Yes, you start with a landmark, yeah? And then go to direction, and then memory.
Memory.
Yes.
Oh!
But when he was going back, he went back with only 55 men. Do you know the reason of what happened to the rest of the people, where they could have gone? Yeah, they died of tropical diseases, like malaria, scabies, and also there was the plague, which was actually came out with a disease that came out in a ship which was brought by the rats. So that one also killed them. And the battle, they fought so many battles with the Arabs. Remember, the Indian Ocean was very much dominated by the Arabs and the Indians, so they fought a lot with them. So that's why we went back with only 55 men. So out of 170. Yes.
So he died when he went back the second time?
Actually, it's a third time. We tried to avoid the second time because the second time he was sent to fight the Indians and the Arabs in the Indian Ocean. That was mainly for the battle the second time. But the third time is when he was appointed as a viceroy, and that's when he went and died in Cochin in south of India. Yes, because if we give the whole history, then we can last here for a very long time. Yes, because even his ships originally, when he first started from Portugal, the first mission, when he was given the task by King Manuel, his ships actually were driven all the way by wind to South America. And he took some couple of degrees again north, and he ended actually in South Africa. So it was a hell actually. He took nearly 1 year to get here in the east coast of Africa from Portugal. So it was, he had so many problems, he encountered so many problems. And initially what they wrote here is that they say is 55 men that went back, but actually it was 54 men who went back. Because in between West Africa and his country, Portugal, he lost his brother. His own brother. So he actually went back with only 54 men. Actually.
What was his relation with the locals, the Africans?
Well, the relation was not very good. I have to be honest to you. These people came here mainly for trade, and to be honest with you, they were very hostile to the locals because they really wanted to do the trade, the slave trade. So there was no good relationship, I have to be honest with you, with the locals. Even with the Arabs, although they welcomed them here, but again, they never trusted each other. Because the chapel I'm going to take you, you will see actually it was built like a fort. Yes, it's not an ordinary chapel. It is not. Yeah.
And the issue of religion with the Arabs here.
Yeah, obviously there was that kind of,
Tension.
tension with the religion, because the Portuguese were Catholics and the Arabs were Muslims. So obviously there was that kind of tension, and that's why I want you to go and see the church. You can actually see it's not a normal church. It is not a normal church. Now this is the first Catholic church in East and Central Africa, built by the Portuguese on 15th century when they landed here actually. And the Portuguese were Catholic, and their neighbors were Arabs, were Muslims, so they built their own church, mosque, and the Portuguese decided to build their small church. And it is the first Catholic church in East and Central Africa. So when they built it mainly not to spread Christianity, but only for themselves. That's why they decided to build it. And they stayed here until 16th century. The year was actually 1593 when they left for Mombasa to go and build for Jesus. And this church was actually abandoned for 300 years. So until the British came in 1893, that's when they renovated much as they could, because the church was in ruins. That's what remained was actually the four walls and the altar, which you are going to see inside. So immediately when they came, they started burying their own, British people. And they normally buried people who are important, people with a title are the ones who are buried here. So, this church is called St. Francis Xavier. Why is it called St. Francis Xavier? Because the time when the Portuguese were here on 15th century, there was a missionary from Portugal called St. Francis, and he was actually passing here, heading to India to spread some Christianity there. And by bad luck, he lost two of his sailors. And he buried them here. And that's why this church is called St. Francis Xavier after him. So the guy went to Goa in India, and he started spreading Christianity over there, and that's why he died, and he was buried there in Goa in India in a church, St. Francis. So as I told you, this is the first Catholic church built by the Portuguese. And those are two people buried there. You can see the other guy had so many titles. He was a soldier, pioneer, as well as a farmer.
The chapel is open.
Yeah. No, I've got the key, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got the key. as I told you, this is the first Catholic church. So when the British arrived in 1893, what they found was the four walls and the altar only. So the seats you are seeing, they have been actually put there by Kenya National Museums. And what you see in front of us have been put there by the Catholic Church. So they are entitled to come to their church. They do come here not every Sunday, but occasionally. And the roof has been renovated by the Kenya National Museum, so to the floor. So you can actually see, as I told you, it's not an ordinary church. You can see the thickness of the wall is quite huge, yeah? And there's only one window. So this was a fort. It was built like a fort. So if the enemy could maybe use a gun on the other side, the rifle could not get, the bullets could not get the people here. So it was built for defense purposes.
Defense purposes.
Yes.
So bullets cannot penetrate through this wall.
No.
Wow.
Thick, eh?
It is thick, yes. It's thick. And that's windows like a spiral, yeah? It's not normal windows like a spiral.
So mostly the danger was from this side.
Yeah, it seems, according to us, we tend to think the same way you're thinking. Maybe the enemies were coming from that direction. And maybe this place was surrounded by sea. Yes. So the only place where maybe the land was the other side.
Rich history. So museums are the one doing the cleaning.
Yes, the Catholic do come here. They do the cleaning sometimes. They do the yes.
600.
600 yes.
As it stands like this, 600.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only new thing are the painting. Eh?
And also they renovate a little bit. You can actually see that part was falling. Yeah. So it must have been renovated a bit. You can see the walls are not really, straight. Like here, there. So they try to support as much as they
can. Eh?
Yes, they could. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As a tourist guide.
Yes, a tour guide. Yes.
A tour guide.
Yes.
So what will you tell my viewers, my subscribers?
Right. Okay, I will tell them to visit Malindi. It has got a very rich history. It's a very, very rich history along the coast. And it's actually one of the oldest villages we have in the east coast of Africa. So it has a very rich history. And there's Vasco Da Gama there, there's a chapel, there's also Get the Ruins, which is a lost Arab city. So all those combination of those ones, they are very, very, it's very, very important if you can get time to come over here in Malindi and see all that.
Okay. If they want to come and they need to find you, how will they find you?
Right. If they want to find me, it's very easy. All they have to do is to come to Vasco Da Gama Pillar and ask for Jeffrey Mwangi. And they will find me there. I'll be called and then I can actually show them around.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.